Hello, it's Glenn here at rebelplaybook.com, and with me today is Bonnie Endicott from Southwest Airlines. Hi Bonnie.
Hello, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely, glad to do it.
So we've been talking a lot about culture and values today at the conference we've been at, and I loved hearing all about Southwest values. Do you want to tell us a bit about them?
Sure. So we have 3 values under Live the Southwest Way that are important for all employees at Southwest, and there's 3 of them. So we have Warrior Spirit, which is all about working hard, being innovative, continuous improvement, that kind of thing. Servant's Heart, which is all about respecting each other. The golden rule is important for us. And then the final one is fun living attitude, which is all about having fun. So if you're going to work hard, you have to play hard and not taking yourself too seriously and being a great team member.
You said it's actually a requirement to have fun as part of your job at Southwest.
It is a requirement to have fun.
Revolutionary as that might seem.
I know. And we've held folks accountable for not having, for not showing that they're having fun at work.
They're nice values, aren't they? Because sometimes you get kind of quite bland sort of customer focus or act with integrity, but I love warrior spirit, and servant's heart. And they're lovely, lovely.
Yeah, and I think they really embody who we are at Southwest and what's important to us. And we often refer to each other as warriors, you know, Southwest warriors or that kind of a thing. So it's just fun because it means a lot to us.
Yeah, that's important. And how long have you had those values?
They have been around for about 13 years, I believe. I was not here when they were conceived.
Yeah.
Now, they come from our long tradition of who we are as at Southwest, but they were those were the 3 that distilled out to best describe our Southwest employees.
And do they evolve over time? Have you added bits to your values and things?
Yeah, so we have. So they started off with Live the Southwest Way, which is servant's heart, fun living attitude, warrior spirit. And then we added on to those some expectations for leaders, because being a leader at Southwest is very important and a little different than you might lead at other companies. So we have 3 of those values, and then we later added senior leadership expectations, and there were 4 of those in the beginning. So now we've distilled those down to 3.
So tell me about the leaders' values.
Okay, so for all leaders, supervisor and above, it's important to develop people, build great teams, and think strategically.
That sounds good. Yeah,
so develop people is all about, are you growing your people? Are you giving them learning opportunities? Are you giving them feedback? Building great teams is, are you looking for diverse and to build diverse and inclusive teams? And are you building environments of trust? And then thinking strategically is just that. Are you thinking with the bigger picture in mind than just kind of problem solving day to day?
That's cool.
Yeah.
And I know I was interested when you were talking this morning about how you said when you think about someone's performance and someone's success, you think more than just about like, did they get the job done, but also how did they get the job done, and did they live those values kind of, in getting the job done, because that's kind of all the long term, isn't it?
Absolutely. So we definitely feel that the how is much more important than what folks accomplish. And the what could vary from, how they board passengers onto an airplane to how they deliver projects kind of in corporate headquarters. And we care much more about how they do that. And did they engage a warrior spirit, a fun-loving attitude, and servant's heart every day versus, did you turn a plane on time? Now that's very important, and all of our customers care about that. But if you're mean to customers and you're getting them out on time, doesn't really doesn't really value.
Yeah, and I guess sometimes things can get in the way, and you don't hit the goal.
Absolutely.
But you still behaved in the right way, trying to hit the goal.
Absolutely.
That's important too.
Yes.
Because it's complicated business running an airline.
Sure it is.
I mean, so when I see. Is it right that I read that Southwest does 500,000 flights a day, or 500,000 passengers a day?
Yes.
Carries. I mean, it's a phenomenal number of people to move from A to B.
Yeah.
So it's funny, sometimes when, obviously when things go wrong on airlines and people miss flights or the flight misses them, sometimes it's just such a complicated logistical operation.
Yes, and now lately, so the air travel has been a booming business, and so I think all flights are full, and so it gets even more complicated whenever folks are missing flights or weather happens. So yes, it's quite complicated.
Quite control the weather. And how much do you think, because Southwest is so successful, do you think the values really help as a core part of that success?
Well, absolutely, because I feel like it gives everybody a guidepost. So if you have good values that are very clear, then everybody knows what's expected of them. So, even if my job is to put passengers on planes or my job is to deliver projects, I still know how I'm supposed to be doing that and what I'm going to be measured to. So it makes things much more simple.
I kind of feel it might lead to a richer job as well. Because some jobs,
I would hope so.
For all of us, some of our jobs can be boring.
Sure.
Some parts are boring and repetitive. But I kind of feel that having that connection to the bigger mission and the bigger purpose, It must enrich those jobs too.
Absolutely, and I feel that everybody at Southwest really feels kind of the cause of Southwest,
Yeah.
and so connecting people to what's important in their lives is a big deal for us, and everybody takes that very seriously. And so, so it's more of a cause than just a job.
You're so successful now, but do you still feel like the upstart of the industry?
Yeah,
like
quite.
Fighting against the
Well,
big guys?
I think we have for a while. So in the last couple of years, though, we talk about all the new upstarts that are like the
Right.
ultra low cost carriers, and so they feel an awful lot like we did quite a few years ago. And so I think we're trying to keep the upstart thoughts and values even while we're a large organization.
Business.
Mm-hmm.
So when I talk to certainly employees about values, quite a lot of employees say, "Oh yeah, I think my employer's got values, but we don't really live them, or they write them on the wall, but that's kind of where it stops." And I know you've done a lot more, like really integrating through HR, haven't you? Can you share some of that?
Yeah, we sure have. So we use our values for hiring. So it's a pretty core part of the interviews that we do. So we're really checking to see if folks have demonstrated those values in their past before we decide to bring them on as kind of Southwest employees. We also use it for performance appraisals, as we talked about already. We use it in our leadership development curricula. We use it as part of our engagement survey. So pretty much every people practice that we have, the values are core.
I guess, and that really shows everyone that they're not just something that we write in the investor handbook.
Right.
They're something that are really important.
Right.
Which is great,
Absolutely.
Which is fantastic. I wonder why a lot of companies struggle to do that. Because it's less common than you'd like to find values written through everything.
It is, and I don't know that I have a good answer for that, other than in my previous organizations that was the case.
Was it?
But I think it has a lot to do with our senior leaders. So the values aren't just some kind of fun descriptors. They actually talk about it, and they reward people about it, and they spend time. So we recently reviewed our values. I think it was 2016, early 2016, we kind of relaunched them to even make them more simple. And they spent an inordinate amount of time just hashing over each word and all the verbiage. And so we recently gained a senior leader from a different organization, and he said it's just amazing how much time we spend hashing out. And that's after it had been through a committee already. And so we just spent a lot of time on it, and our vice president spent a lot of time on it. And so I just think it's important at the top, therefore it's important for everybody.
It's funny, that's another thing which I really kind of noted about, you telling me about the airline earlier on, was about a real focus to try and keep things simple. Because I've learned the hard way that simplicity is actually much more complex than making something hard. It takes, you can produce something, then to make the simple version takes a lot more work.
That's true sometimes. That's true.
You were telling me earlier on about, I think it was your annual review, trying to get everything down under one sheet of paper. Yeah.
Yeah, so we are testing out going away from an annual performance appraisal and having more of a continuous conversation. And so in this stretch, to try to keep everything very simple, I challenge the team to just have all quarterly reviews captured on one piece of paper, and they're like rolling their eyes at me, and they're like, "That's not going to fly. We're going to need more space for more notes." I'm like, "Well, let's just give it a try." And the feedback that came back is, "Fine if you want to have it on one piece of paper, but you're going to have to include the values in there somewhere." Right. And so I was just hoping that leaders would kind of include feedback about the values just inherently, but we wanted to make sure it's well written on all of our kind of HR documents, if you will. So I'm not sure what we're going to go to.
But it sounds like you've got a culture of trying things out that may or may not work.
Oh, sure, yeah. So actually, we're going to pilot. We're piloting a pilot, and then the official pilot will start next year.
Cool.
And so we are not afraid to try new things and challenge, kind of status quo.
We obviously here in Silicon Valley, where they talk a lot about growth mindset, but it's okay to fail, to try things. Yeah. But sometimes when we get back to our corporates, especially in HR, there's not. I'm trying to encourage my HR team too to say, to launch things and say, this is just for now. Yeah. And we might carry it on, we might not see if it works.
Well, so there was a lot of nerves about that. We were worried our finance organization is one of the teams that is trying this out, and we think, finance folks are fairly structured, and they're going to flip out if we don't have everything like buttoned up. And they were fine, and they liked it, and they've been having great conversations. And so I'm like, if they can figure it out, cool, other groups can figure it out too.
It's funny how often we think, oh, we can't do that, and it actually turns out you can.
They're just fine.
You can try. If it doesn't work, well, we'll go back to how we did it before.
And we just worked really hard to communicate with them, like, this is going to change. This is not status. You're a pilot of a pilot. But I think they liked being on the forefront of something different and new, and something that was inclusive of them and put the employees first. I think
the
they
nice
like
thing about being on a pilot, especially when you know it's a real pilot at the start, is what you're basically saying is, we're going to try this with you and we want to know what you think.
Right.
So you're going to become part of making the future.
Part of the process.
Yeah, which is nice, isn't it? You know, rather than being just a pawn in it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
that's cool.
And hopefully you create some good ambassadors along the way. So it's been fun.
Very nice. So we mentioned briefly leadership, your leadership team, your leadership sort of structure. And I know that, because in all businesses we have, you know, people naturally want progression and they think, oh, I think I want to be a team leader now. And sometimes that's a great move for them, and sometimes they're not actually, it's actually not really what they want.
Right.
So I know you've got like a structured training program that helps to help people to work out if it's right for them.
We do. So we have classes that start even before you're a leader to decide if being a leader at Southwest is something that you want to do.
Yeah.
And then if it is, then okay, that's great. Here's some of the kind of core skills you need to start building. And then we have classes for those who are just stepping into their leadership role, and then those who are stepping kind of into a manager level, and then we've got, you know, offerings at the director and above level. So we really try to make sure that leaders across the board are well taken care of. Because I mean, we all know that people leave leaders. They don't leave companies and teams and things like that. So leaders are a pretty important asset to a company. And I really feel like, personally, that your frontline leaders are probably the most important role that you have at a company, because they're the ones who are impacting your, you know, folks on the day-to-day. And if they're not doing a great job, then your employees are definitely not going to be engaged. So that's why we put a lot of effort into helping leaders be as good as they can be.
I understand. Well, thank you very, very much, Bonnie.
Yeah.
So I've spent now a couple of hours with Bonnie today, and not only did I want to work for Southwest Airlines this morning, I'm definitely flying with them from now on, because it feels like an amazing company, and I bet it feels great to be a customer of too. So thank you very, very much,
You're
Bonnie.
very welcome. It's my pleasure.
So we have loads more, including some great stuff from Southwest in the book, Build It, the Rebel Playbook for Employee Engagement, available now at Amazon or your favourite bookstore. And we have lots more interviews like this, both in video and in podcast and written, all on rebelplaybook.com. So we hope we'll find you more there. Thanks ever so much, Bonnie.
Awesome.
Thank you for
you.
watching.